Hello. In today's YouTube video, I'm going to show you how I find my off-market deals. Now this process is pretty intricate, but simple at the same exact time. So keep in mind, with each one of these bullet points that I'm going to share with you, I can make a 10-15 minute video about each bullet point. And I plan to do that. So subscribe to follow on the journey so that you can learn this process. I tell people all the time, this is the best skill you can have in the real estate investing industry. If you have the power to have an off-market deal, you will be a millionaire. The reason is because once you have that off-market deal, you can then choose, am I gonna wholesale it? Am I gonna buy it myself? Am I gonna flip it? You have the power because you have a deal that no one else has. So keep that in mind as you watch me go through these different steps. There is 4 steps in finding off-market deals. Step number 1, you are going to be building a list. Building the list consists of going to a title company or going to PropStream. With a title company, you're going to be asking via email, customer support for a farm list. You're going to tell them the certain criteria that you're after, how long the person's been in the house, how much equity they have, etc., etc. PropStream works the same way, but it's a lot easier. It's $99 a month. I am not an affiliate at this point, so I'm not going to get paid to say that. PropStream is the best platform for this purpose. You can put in the exact criteria that you want and it'll generate a list for you automatically. So now that you have your list of potential fixers, you then need to get phone numbers and email. This is called skip tracing. Using the name and the address that you pulled from the title company and PropStream, either or, you are then going to skip trace to pull out that information, to pull those phone numbers and email. This is not 100% accurate ever, so you're going to be calling a lot of people who either it's a dead number or they don't live there anymore. That's just the name of the game. But once you have the phone numbers, the email addresses, all the data, it's time for step 2, and that's prospecting. Prospecting is the hardest part. It's going to take a lot of effort, a lot of mental strength on your end. What that consists of is cold calling, mailing, texting. There's so many different methods. You need to figure out what works best for you. Door knocking is another big one. Figure out what works best to you. They all have different use cases, but once you have that list, start hitting the prospecting hard. That's step number 2, is prospecting. The best advice I can give for prospecting is to not count your wins on appointment or wholesale deals. Instead, find little things that you can measure as wins. For me, I like to make a goal that's easily measured. Like, okay, today I'm gonna make 50 calls. Today I'm gonna door knock 30 houses. That way I can check it off and know that I did exactly what I needed to do that day and I can feel accomplished. Instead of, I'm on the phone, 100 people yelled at me in this past week. That can get really, really damaging. And so you need to find small things to count as wins that you can measure to feel like you're progressing. Because you're doing the job, it's not always going to prove to be wins every day. If it was, everyone would be doing it and everyone would be rich. It's not that easy. Step 3 is negotiation and getting the contract signed. This part is honestly a lot of practice. For this part, you're going to need to learn how to find the needs of the seller. If you and the seller don't have a win-win scenario, then it's not meant to be and you need to waste your time somewhere else. A negotiation process needs to be you uncovering the seller's needs and figuring out if there's a win-win scenario. If not, then find the next deal. Don't waste hours and hours talking to a seller that's not a good fit. And then also with that is contracts. So you're gonna give them a purchase and sale agreement and you're gonna say and or assign. The reason you put and or assign that if you choose to wholesale, you have the option to, but if not, you can always keep it yourself. So once that contract's executed, it's time for step 4. Step 4, there's a part A and there's a part B. Step 4A is you're buying it yourself. You send these documents to the title company and pretty much they'll do the work for you. It's not that easy, but it's not hard at the same time. You'll get the hang of it. If you have any questions, DM me, subscribe. Step 4B is assigning the contract. Assigning the contract consists of getting another contract on top of your purchase and sale agreement, the assignment contract. You are giving permission for a different investor to purchase this property. You do not own the property and you never did, but by getting this contract signed, you are now selling the contract to purchase the property, and then which you'll send those documents to the title company and you'll get your assignment fee. This can sound overwhelming, but think of it as 4 different steps. 1, build the list. 2, prospect. 3, negotiate and get it signed. 4, you're either buying the property or you're assigning it. It's that simple, and each step inside of that takes another level of education, but it's not that hard, especially when you do it over and over. It may seem intricate, but finding off-market deals is so worth it. The reason why finding off-market deals is so powerful is because now you have the power to choose if I'm going to wholesale it, if I'm going to flip it, or if I'm going to keep it. The power is in keeping these properties, which is what I have done mostly in the past year. If I choose to keep a property, if it's off-market, I'm getting double equity. I'm getting double equity as soon as I go into contract or as soon as I get it closed, because I'm finding a need for the seller. They're not using realtor fees. I'm paying for their closing costs. Whatever the win-win is for that seller specifically, I'm providing a service to them. So in return, I get equity. The second side of that is I will add value to these properties, which is the usual equity that people are getting into, especially with flipping. But when it's an off-market deal, it's double-sided. I get the equity from walking in from my services, and 2, I get equity from adding value, whether it's fixing up the place, whether it's adding an ADU on the back, finishing the basement. I'm creating value every time I buy a property. This is how you can free yourself and build your net worth in real estate. I promise you, if you learn this skill, you'll be a millionaire if you apply it. And I am not just saying that. I'm a firm believer in it. I've done it myself, and I know that you can too. Subscribe so you can follow my journey and you won't regret it.